All right, as of this podcast, it is January 15th, 2026. So there's a good chance you have already quit on your New Year's resolutions.
Hi, I'm Kelly Burnside with Burnside Law Firm right here in West Columbia. Life can bring unexpected challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. From personal injury to workers' comp to probate, I'm here to help you protect what's most important. Give us a call at 803-619-5430 or visit burnsidelawyer.com to learn more. And just remember, if you slip and fall, give Kelly a call.
Hello, and welcome to the My Father Said podcast, where we discuss all things faith, finance, and family. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan. I'm a father and a son.
Hey, everybody. I'm Robert. I'm his dad. I am my father's son.
And today we are going to talk to you guys about New Year's resolutions. I started it by saying there's a good chance that you've already stopped. I did that tongue in cheek. There's always the old stigmatism that the New Year's resolutions don't last. There's a little bit of truth to that, though. You know, by February 1st, 80% of New Year's resolutions have they've quit.
I believe that. The only resolution that I've ever made that I have kept, and I have kept it, and I have been completely successful with it.
Not keep resolutions.
I do not make resolutions.
There you go.
Yes, I don't make them. It's because when you don't make them, you don't have to worry about the failure of not keeping them come February, and feel like such a slouch for the rest of the year that your discipline is so inept and weakened that you can't even go beyond one plain month. And then the other 11, you're just going to be a slob.
Yeah. It'd be better to just not put yourself through that, right?
Right.
I want to get healthier. No, don't do that. You're still going to eat like crap. So just know who you are.
That is true. That is true.
No, but we wanted to talk to you guys about, resolutions, but specifically in the realm of finance. We want to talk about that and, try to boil it down a little bit so it's not some pipe dream resolution. It's actually something that you can, kind of execute on. And that's what we wanted to talk to you guys about today.
So let's go philosophical.
Okay.
All right. To start with, philosophically speaking, wherever you're at right now, hearing this podcast, be it today, January 15th, be it 5 years from now when you're looking at the archives and you pull out this podcast, or be it somewhere, wherever. You are where you're at right now. That's exactly where you're at. When you look at your bank account, it's where it's at. When you look at yourself physically, you're where you're at. That could be in your workspace, your where you're living, how you look physically. It can be where you're at. So we decided we were going to let the majority of the excited, ambitious folks go ahead and fail miserably on their resolutions. And we didn't want to wait till February 1st because we're optimistic here that you probably wouldn't make it that long anyway. So what we wanted to do is after you come out the gates full of energy, just like a run, like when I started running 5 and 10Ks, a coworker of mine told me, he said, listen, you got to pace yourself. He said, you're going to see a lot of people get up in the front of that thing, and when they shoot that gun off, people are going to take off running, and they're going to get smaller as you lag behind. He said, don't worry about it. He said, don't worry about it. He said, before that race is over, you're going to pass them. And I found that to be the truth at every event I go to. You can spot them. They're out there. They're just looking like they're ready to go, and you can look at them physically and tell, there's not going to be a lot of endurance there. And it happens every time.
Speaking of races, why don't you tell us about that one that you just did in North Carolina, was it?
No, that was a bad event.
Go ahead, tell us.
I don't want to talk about that. That has nothing to do with these resolutions. All right. But that was a terrible event. It was not anything that I want to brag about. But I will say in the most recent one, I finished first in my age group. I have never, ever in my life finished first in my age group.
That's amazing.
It is.
That's amazing. Now, why did you finish first, Dad?
I was the only one in my age group.
Granny told me a story one time back when her and Papa were alive. So Papa used to race the race cars.
Yeah.
And they did something one day where the wives of the race car drivers, they let them race the cars.
It was the Powder Puff division.
And Granny was like, Ryan, I finished in third place. And I was like, oh, that's really good, Granny. And Papa like didn't even look up. He was like, there was only 3 of them.
Yeah. She failed to tell you it was a 5-lap race, and she was 2 laps down.
That's good.
I vaguely remember that event there because she was just puttering along. And I mean, it was just like going from stoplight to stoplight in the middle of town. And them other 2 ladies in their cars, man, they were getting it. They were sailing across that rail. I know their husbands were concerned about how their wives were driving those cars. Mama, on the other hand, Daddy was just concerned she was going to get in someone's way and kill somebody. That's all. That's all it was. But anyway, I digress. So back to what we're looking at today. So here we are in the year 2026. I would not have imagined when I graduated high school in 1981 that I would ever see the year 2026. Time has flown by. It's amazing how fast time flies by. But one thing that I know that is consistent is the foundational fundamentals of managing finances. And the things that have been proven to be true 100 years ago when it comes to the foundational principles are true today. And that's what we want to talk to you about today out in podcast land. What you can do to look at from where you're at right now, at this very moment that you're listening to this podcast, where you're at right now, you have the complete authorization and ability and capability, because you live in America. You have the capability to choose your path going forward.
Yeah.
You've got it. So what we wanted to do today is give you some financial things that you can do to improve your financial picture going forward.
Yeah.
And these are all doable. You don't have to sit back and go, oh my gosh, I wonder what they're going to tell me. Do I need to pull over and get out a sheet of paper? Nah, just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen. These are completely doable. The first one I'm going to say is this. When it comes to your financial future, if you have not yet began to move in the direction of securing your financial future this year in 2026, you can start.
Right.
Yeah, just right where you're at. You don't have to get perfect. You don't have to get your ducks in a row. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just look at it, acknowledge it, and say to yourself, yeah, I'm not going to live like this anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take charge and do it.
Yeah. Every great decision that somebody has made, a lot of the people who are, especially athletes, that have decided that they were going to get really good at their craft, whatever it may be, it all started with a decision, right? Like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then it goes from there. So, like, one of the things that we can talk about with, like, the finance goals is you might say, hey, I want to be a millionaire, right? And that's a great thing to want. But I want to be a millionaire is not a plan. What is a plan is, hey, I'm going to put away $20 a month. Anybody can do that. Like, it's not realistic that somebody can maybe become a millionaire this year in 2026, unless you're already pretty close. But if you're just starting out, just make the goal the habit, the behavior. Make that the goal. Hey, I'm going to put away $20 a month. I'm going to put away $50 a month. I'm going to put 3% into my 401k to get the match. Just pick a goal and go from that.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to look at where you're at and you've got to start. One of the things that we recommend is that you set aside a minimum 15% of your pre-tax monies towards your ultimate retirement goals. But you may look and say, I don't have 15% margin.
Yeah.
And that's all right. You might only have 2% margin. Start with 2.
Exactly.
Yeah. but just start, because you will find out that as you start shaving away that which is not working for you but against you, you will begin to find out that you're going to find additional margin.
Yeah.
Margin creates margin. And it's an interesting concept, but I've seen it. I've seen it often. I see it frequently. Margin creates margin. And the thing about it is though, is you've got to begin with the margin that you've got in front of you. And I know a lot of folks out there may be thinking, I don't have any margin at all. You do. I know you do, because we have got to be the most wasteful society in the world. Ride by any landfill. And ride by any place where they take your refuse on a daily basis, and you look at the lines of vehicles in there and the junk piled up in the back of those vehicles. Yeah, we are a land of wastefulness.
Yeah.
We have got it. My gosh, look at inside the closets inside your mama's house. Holy cow. Every time she says, I need a new outfit, I tell her, go look in the closet. Just go look in the closet.
Yeah. So like anybody can start. If you don't think that there's margin, there is margin. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be necessarily comfortable for you to find that margin, but it is absolutely doable. Like if you're spending, I don't know, $300 a week on groceries, you can knock that down to $295, right? If you're spending, X amount on gas, well, you can just fill up a little bit less than filling up your tank all the way. There are certain ways that you can create more margin in your life. We've talked about the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, a number of times, and there's a chapter in there where it's talking about Lady Luck and how people the goddess of good luck is what they call it, and they are trying to figure out how to entice the goddess of good luck to bless them with more money or silver and gold. And they basically come to the conclusion that the goddess of good luck finds people and gives opportunity to the people who are already wise in the handling of money, and then she doesn't, or she takes away gold from the people who are not wise in the handling of money. So it basically says the better you are with managing your behavior and stewarding finances, the more good luck is going to find you, or you're going to find good luck. And so, again, you don't have to create 100% margin today, but one little step creates another step, creates another step.
Yeah, but the important thing is you got to begin.
Yeah.
Part two of that is once you start, unlike your New Year's resolution that fizzled out right after you ran out the gate, you got to stick with this. Discipline towards your goal is got to be the most important foundational principle that anybody who is going to succeed in moving from where they are to where they want to get to, that's the one you've got to embrace and you cannot let go of. You got to pick your plan, and you've got to stick with the plan. Now, the plan can be adjusted along the way,
right?
And it will be adjusted because life happens. But life cannot stop the plan, all right? It may create a detour, it may create a bump in the road, but you've got to continue with it regardless of what's coming at you. And I promise you, once you begin, it's the way this thing works. Once you begin trying to do better for yourself, financially speaking, something or someone is going to come into picture with the need. And you've got to determine, hey, am I going to let something else derail me from my financial goal? Am I going to let someone else derail me from my financial goal? And you've got to learn to say no.
Yeah.
No, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to accomplish. Because I can assure you, back when companies used to have pensions, and companies found out pensions are expensive, and the companies don't want to be on the hook for providing your welfare into your retirement years. So they started getting rid of the pension, and they replaced it with the 401k.
Right.
But the big difference between the pension and the 401k, the pension was the company provided it for your time of devotion to them. All you had to do is show up and go to work. And by the way, you got paid. In the 401k, it's all on you.
Right.
All right. You have to be responsible enough to sign up. You have to be responsible enough to put money in, and you have to be responsible enough to put additional monies in as your lifestyle grows.
Right.
And so you've got to recognize this. You've got to stick with your plan. You can't just say, I want to do it willy-nilly and be passive at it and not make it a vital, important part of your strategy.
Right.
You know, remember, we want you to get to that 15%. And that's if you're young.
Yeah.
If you're older and later in life, like I am right now, that number is going to be higher, 25, 30, 35%.
Right.
And you might be thinking, my gosh, I'll never get there. Well, you won't with that attitude.
Right.
All right. But you got to begin.
Yeah. And I like what you said about the discipline part of it. You know, motivation is not bad. Motivation is good. Willpower is not bad. Willpower is good. Motivation will start you on this journey, but discipline is going to keep you on it. That's why so many people make these New Year's resolutions, because they're motivated for the new year, and then by February they're done, because they've just been riding on motivation, not the discipline. Which some of the way that discipline manifests itself is, for example, the 401k, just set up auto contributions, right? Because if you've got to manually go in every single time and you're wanting to look at what your paycheck is and then put money in, there's always going to be something that comes in the way. There's always going to be something that requires that money. Well, if you just set it up auto every month, X amount of dollars is going to come out of my paycheck. That's discipline. Now you're not necessarily motivated to do that, but you've got the systems in place. You've disciplined yourself to get that in there. And so now you're on your journey to financial success, whatever that looks like.
That's exactly right. Now, the other thing too, lifestyle creep. We got to watch lifestyle creep. And what we mean by lifestyle creep is, I can remember I was in Cracker Barrel the other day, and they've got this rack of books in there, and the books are based on the year you were born. And so I went in there and I picked up the books and I picked up the book for the year I was born, and I looked at it. It shows like the prices of things back then. You know, a stamp was a nickel. All right. A carton of eggs was 35 cents. All right. A brand new car, Ford Mustang, was $1,100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, brand new. And I look at this stuff and I think, holy cow, man, if it could be those prices today that it was back then. But the point I'm trying to make to you is, as the Industrial Revolution has come in and has made the lifestyles of Americans better every day, better every year, decade after decade after decade, wages have gone up. And because wages have gone up, we have the ability to buy things. Houses today are filled with clutter compared to houses back in the 70s were filled with the necessities.
Right.
There was a difference. This country will never see that again, all right, just because of all of the excess that's in this country. But what we have to recognize is that when we begin our journey on setting aside monies, if we do not adjust our monies in accordance to our lifestyle creep, there's going to become a gap between the cost of living 20 years from now and when I started saving money without ever making an adjustment to keep up with the cost of living. Right. So we've got to make sure that we put into practice of increase. And increase is simply this. Every time you get a pay increase, make sure that you are increasing your savings. And then the 401k does it for you automatically. Because if you're doing 10% and you get an increase, well, it's 10% of that increase.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure of that. But outside of that, you want to make sure that you are doing your savings accordingly. Yeah. You don't want to not do that, because although you're going to be better than if you haven't done anything at all, you're not going to get where you want to be.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that's the other thing is like the lifestyle creep. Yeah, you might be putting money away, but again, as your income goes up, there's going to be all these things that are pulling at your purse strings. There's going to be all of these different reasons as to why you should spend your money here. So you've got to fight back against that. Some of the ways that you can stay motivated in this stuff or stay disciplined is obviously you can automate your 401k. Well, one of the other things you can do is you can share those goals with someone that's close to you, right? So things that are done in secret or goals set in secret normally don't they don't succeed a lot of the time. But if you've got counsel, if you've got people that are holding you accountable, they're more likely to hold yourself. And it doesn't have to be something that you broadcast, you put on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. It could be you let your spouse know what it's going to be, or you've got a circle that you're real close with. You tell a couple of those people to keep you on track. Doing things like that, automating things and having people in your purview that can pour into your life and they can hold you accountable. Those are priceless when it comes to keeping your goals.
Yeah. Now, another thing, we're talking about accumulation. Now we also want to add in here, how do you make margin? Well, you cut the excess. Mm-hmm. And part of what you do to cut the excess is you tackle debt, existing debt. Mm-hmm. Now, the way you tackle existing debt, the very first rule of tackling existing debt is not to add to the existing debt.
Right.
So if you're thinking about going into something that's going to require you to borrow money, don't.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I get it. Some of you out there right now are going, this guy is nuts. Well, listen, here's the reality. You got to make hard decisions. Mm-hmm. All right? Foolish decisions or decisions made without any thought of the future consequences has got you where you are right now.
Yeah.
So what you've got to do is you've got to make hard decisions. And hard decisions is no. And telling yourself no is the hardest thing in the world. I have developed an affinity for chocolate milk.
Hi, I'm Ashley Banks with Allstate right here in Columbia. Life can be unpredictable, but your insurance doesn't have to be. My team and I help protect what matters most, your family, your home, and your future with coverage that fits your life and your budget. Give us a call at 803-769-0051 and let's make sure you're in good hands.
And I've already been told that, if I want to lose some more of this belly that I've got going on here, I got to stay off the chocolate milk. But God almighty, that stuff tastes good. Holy cow. I have got, confession time, I've got 2 unopened jugs of chocolate milk in the refrigerator right now next to the open jug of chocolate milk. And they will all be gone by the end of this weekend.
I believe it has a similar amount of calories as ice cream.
Yeah. It'll all be gone by then. All right. So what you've got to do is you've got to make the hard decisions to say no. So one of the things that Ryan and I would challenge you out in podcast land is take a look at your debt. And you might have numerous places. You might have a credit card or two. You might have a car loan or two. You might have a boat loan or two. Mm-hmm. Whatever you might have, take a look at that debt. Let's identify one, and let's not have that debt come the end of this year.
Yeah.
And if we can really be ambitious, let's do 2 of them.
Yeah.
And here's the way that you pay that debt off. It's called the snowball effect. You want to give them an explanation of the snowball effect, how that works?
What's the snowball effect?
Oh, boy. I asked the wrong guy, didn't I?
Tell us, Dad. What's the snowball effect?
Oh,
and how is it different from the avalanche?
Whew. The avalanche doesn't give you immediate gratification. The snowball effect will allow you to get some immediate gratification like you're gaining ground. Mm. They're both going to end up in the same spot. But if I like to have little victories along the way, well, here it is. Here it is. We got the Super Bowl coming up. There's going to be 2 teams in the Super Bowl. This is the avalanche effect. The team on offense is backed up to their 5-yard line. And what the avalanche effect is they're trying to get to the other side of the field, the end zone. The avalanche effect is the Hail Mary pass, mm-hmm. and you score immediately in one play, one long play. Mm-hmm. The snowball effect is I just dot all the way down the field, constantly getting first downs.
Yep.
It might take me 15 plays to get there, but when I get there, I've scored.
Yeah.
It's still 6 points either way you look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so here's one of the things that I like about the snowball effect is part of the reason so many people spend so much time on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok is because of like the serotonin and the dopamine that people get from like watching the videos and stuff like that. That's a very real thing. That's why those apps do so well at keeping your attention. That's a very real thing. It's the same thing with paying off your debt. If you set a goal of, hey, I'm going to get rid of this debt, and you do the avalanche, so you're paying evenly on all your debts, and then 2 years in, you finally get the debt paid off, you're not getting any of those serotonin and the dopamine hits along the way. But if you do little by little, you pay off this credit card, and then you pay off that credit card, and then you pay off that student loan. Every single time you get rid of one of those, that's another little serotonin hit that keeps you going. That's how me and Alexia did it when we were getting out of our student loans. It was a snowball.
Oh, good. I thought y'all found a bag of cash out one day on a picnic or something.
We did. It was skin tight. It was in the the diaper bag.
Yeah. That's an inside joke. I know none of you out there know it, and you never will. Anyway, so yeah, look at debt. Get it, pick it, destroy it, and learn this phrase: debt is my enemy. Mm-hmm. Debt is only the friend of the lender. Mm-hmm. If you are the person walking around carrying debt, I want you to know all of that debt is in between you and your financial success. And it's a true statement. If you don't embrace that statement, you're going to have a hard time believing the things that we're sharing with you. Yeah. So you would talk to any of our successful clients when we do our annual millionaire survey, and you will find that those clients will tell you across the board, debt is not your friend.
Yeah.
And they are adamant about it. And the thing that they've all got in common, they're millionaires.
Yeah, they're all wealthy.
Yeah, they're all wealthy. So I don't really argue about that. The next thing that we would say that you probably should do, if you haven't done, and this one really isn't a fun thing to do because it focuses on you looking at the end of life. We had Kelly Burnside with Burnside Law on here recently. And Kelly made the comment.
A sponsor.
Yeah, Kelly is a sponsor, yes. But Kelly Burnside was in here with us a while back, and we were talking about, during the Thanksgiving show, things that you do to not be a turkey. Mm-hmm. And Kelly said, don't be a turkey, get your will done. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty surprising to us how many people come in here without wills.
Yeah.
It's more than I would have imagined. Mm-hmm. So even though we're not attorneys, we don't give legal advice. We will tell you that we have seen in this office the negative effects of a family member dying without a will in place and the pure chaos it throws to the survivors left behind.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to show your family that you don't love them or you don't care about them, don't get a will. If you want to show them and you want to put them in a bad spot, don't get a will. That is horrible stuff that we've had to deal with, and the aftermath of that. And it's simple. Hey, we're talking about goals. We're talking about goal setting for 2026 and getting ahead. That's probably the easiest one. All you have to do is decide to get a will. There are a lot of attorneys out there that they make their bread and butter getting the will set up for you. It is a easy process. Just make that the decision. Matter of fact, I would take it a step farther. If you are trying to prioritize your goals between saving for retirement, paying off debt, or getting the will, put all of them to the side except the will. Get the will first, especially if you have kids in the home. Because that's a whole nother thing.
That's exactly right. Because the only thing that we are guaranteed in this life is this moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not guaranteed this afternoon, much less tomorrow. I know that some time back I had someone I know come to me and ask me about being the executor of his estate when he passes away. And I know the family. And I said to him, you got a will done? He said, no, not yet. I said, well, look here.
I ain't doing it.
That's exactly what I told him.
I ain't doing it. Get the will.
I said, you can put my name down on a sheet of paper. I said, but I will not do it unless there is a will in existence. I said, because I know your kids And I said, I do not want to be anywhere near the chaos that is going to ensue because you didn't do it will. So, and I talked with him not too long ago, and I said, hey, did you ever get that will done? Well, no, I'm getting over there. And I said, remember what I told you? I said, I will not be the guy. And I mean that. And I would tell you out there in podcast land, look, people come to you to be the executor because they respect you enough. They think you have the ability to do something up and up on the level when it comes to estate things. And I'm honored, I'm humbled that someone would ask me that. But I've been around enough to see when somebody dies without a will. I've seen it within my extended family, and I've seen the chaos that it has caused, and I've seen decades later the still unforgiving feelings that are going on between siblings. I don't want no part of that.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I don't want any part of that, and I will not subject myself to that, friendship or not. I will not subject myself to that. So if someone comes and asks you, would you be the executor of the will, you got to set the line down and say, show me the will.
Yeah.
All right? I want to see that the will is in place.
And here's something else. If somebody does ask you to be the executor of the estate and you do not have a will set in place, you don't have any business being an executor because you've already shown you can't make good decisions. So
right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The final thing I got, Ryan, on the things going forward this year that you can easily do as an individual that will improve your family situation is if you do not have life insurance and you have someone who is dependent upon your income, be it a spouse and or children, and you're carrying debt, it is irresponsible for you to take another step today without getting that rectified. Also, in addition to that, and this is what our girl Ashley Banks told us,
who's also a sponsor,
and this is her wheelhorse. She came and she told us that there's a lot of people out there without life insurance. In addition to that, those who do have life insurance, your policy might be 10 years old, and you might have had some additions to the house since then. You might have had some changes in marriage since then. So you might need to make sure at the very least that your policy is current in the form of correct beneficiaries, correct coverage needs. So it's not one and done. It is one that continues.
Yeah.
So we would encourage you greatly to reach out to Ashley on the life insurance situation. We would encourage you to reach out to Kelly on the will. And, if you don't know the numbers, just give us a call here at the office. We'll do it. Or listen to our commercials.
Listen to the podcast. They'll be in there.
Yeah, they're going to come across here somewhere if they already haven't. And so we want to make sure that we, give them a plug because they are valuable friends of the show.
Yeah.
So, make sure you got life insurance.
Yeah, and I'd say one of the good things, or one of the things that I'd like to leave everybody with on the podcast is setting goals is a good thing. That's an admirable thing. That's something that you should do. Like I was telling Dad last week, I took a day off from the office and went and did my goal setting and planning for the 2026 year, and so that's a good thing. Don't get overwhelmed with trying to fix everything right now. You didn't get into your situation today overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight. So the thing that I would leave you with is pick one goal and stick with that one. That goal could be as simple as I'm putting 5% into my 401k and I'm not thinking about it anymore. That goal could be, hey, I'm paying off this car loan, this one. It could be, hey, your goal might just be, hey, I've got credit cards, I've got student loans, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut up my credit cards. I still have got my debt, but I can't go further into debt because I got rid of everything. Just pick one goal. One of those goals is going to help you. You get through it this year. Next year, pick a different goal. And what you might find out is that you start to accomplish those goals a little bit quicker than you thought when you're more intentional with it. So that is all I've got.
No, I got one more thing. Start your year off right. I've been watching our book, Financial Harmony and Personal Fulfillment.
You should try reading it.
No, I mean watching it on Amazon. And do you know that it has climbed back up? It's now at number 11 on the bestseller list.
Oh,
So I'm not sure who's out there buying it, but we thank you.
yeah, thank you.
And so if you also want to make this year, 2026, a better year, go to Amazon, get our book, Financial Harmony, Personal Fulfillment. Put into practice, the concepts that are in this book. They're not going to hurt you. They can only help you.
Yeah.
And hey, get us back up to number one again, because for a while we were number one.
Yeah, they'll never be able to take that from us.
That's
yeah,
right.
hey, you know what? That could be your goal. Hey, my one goal for 2026, I'm going to increase my financial literacy. Just read a chapter a week. There you go.
There you go.
Look at that.
All right.
So, all right, with that, this has been another episode of the My Father Said podcast. I'm Ryan,
I'm Robert.
and we will see you guys next time.
The opinions voiced in this video are for general information only and are not specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. Securities offered through LPL Financial, number FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Good Life Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The Templeton Group and Good Life Advisors, LLC, are separate entities from LPL Financial.